Number 12. Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. If you could manage to cross the fighting noises and looks of Bruce Lee, the invincibility of Chuck Norris, the body of Sylvester Stallone, the martial arts of an ancient chi master and the sperm of Hercules, then you get the invincible, indestructible, untouchable, deadly, skillful, all-powerful, almighty Kenshiro! One of the most iconic characters to ever come out of the shonen genre, Kenshiro is one badass muscly dude that has his names and looks known all around the anime community. In fact, prior to making this list, I hadn't even seen a single episode of Fist of the North Star, and yet I knew that Kenshiro would be on this list based entirely on his reputation. And after watching a few episodes, he definitely does not disappoint. Yes, Kenshiro and the character preceding him are two characters I put on this list based on their infamous reputation in anime fandom, and who both inherently are oozing with big manly muscles and pure hardcore epicness. But I'll talk about Kenshiro first. At the end of the 20th century, the Earth has been scarred with nuclear warfare, leaving most of the surface as a barren wasteland. In a time when the world is apparently ruled by pumped-up Sex Pistol fans, Kenshiro travels around protecting the weak and innocent against these murderous gangs. He is trained in the deadly art of Hokuto Shinken, an ancient martial art used for assassination that can allow you to have absolute mastery of an opponent's body by just pushing some pressure points, which, when hit, almost certainly ensures the opponent's death in a matter of seconds, sprouting his famous catchphrase, which is normally used to signal the countdown to a sight of a body blowing itself up from the inside out. Yes, this guy will blow your mind. Awesome pun intended. On that huge body of his, he bears 7 scars that form the pattern of the North Star, which he got engraved into him after losing his lost love Julia to a bitter rival. He also bears a striking resemblance to Bruce Lee if Bruce Lee had been jacked up with steroids from birth and has added,
eyebrows.
Seriously though, what is up with anime characters from the 70s and 80s looking like they had big furry animals growing on them as facial features? So after hearing all this, do I really need to explain this guy's placement on the list? Not only is he the embodiment of every testosterone-based trope you associate with the word Chuck Norris, but he can also make your head explode with the use of his fucking fingers. What more do you want? Though, while certainly his most badass feat is making heads explode, he can do more than just that with his martial arts. Though, it does make me question the number of bloody acupuncture points there are on the human body. I mean, there are apparently points that can make you speak the truth against your will, some will instantly close up fatal wounds, and some will make your heart explode while taking exactly and only exactly 5 steps. Wait, hold on a sec. Right. Not to mention how skilled he is to be able to accurately push tiny pressure points during combat while having arms the size of fat babies complete with sausage fingers. But then again, I forget that in a series oozing with pure manly testosterone, everyone's been taking way too many steroids in this anime since everyone's built like a fucking brick shithouse. But, of course, his most iconic move is his 1000 punches, or as I like to call it, the "you just got effed in the A" attack. This move is basically a flurry of punches against the opponent which, when initiated, causes his shirt to disintegrate off his body in the most manliest fashion, while still keeping his trousers in very nice condition. But the most memorable thing about this move, of course, is the attack sound he makes. Reminiscent of Bruce Lee's fighting noises, it is so epic it secures his invincibility when using this attack, since when he's using this move, nobody, and I mean nobody, touches him. Unfortunately for me, he just seems like a one-trick pony. Even if blowing up someone's head is a pretty cool power, compared to the number of power the next guy on this list has, that won't seem like too much. I may be wrong with this since I'm not very far through Fist of the North Star yet, but fuck, I'm not going to watch through hundreds of episodes just so this guy can get placed a little higher on this list. However, his epicness certainly does live up to reputation, and if anyone is stupid enough to go against this guy, then don't, because if you do, then you are already dead. Number 11. Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The art of having muscles big enough to crush a small elephant to death is something I originally thought only Dragon Ball Z had pulled off, though as it turned out some characters can make even Goku look like a baby panda in terms of muscle size. As we have just seen from Fist of the North Star and also with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, when you come from an anime where your characters have enough steroids pumped into them that it makes their chest so oversized it looks like you're squeezing down massive breast implants under your tank top, you have to do something else to stand out from the crowd. So, enter Dio Brando. Originally the brother to his arch enemy Jonathan Joestar, Dio became a vampire and ultimately got his head chopped off by Joestar, who sacrificed his life to sink both his body and Dio's severed head into the Atlantic Ocean. Over time Dio reattaches his head to Joestar's body, apparently by a tentacle raping the body to death, and from there he gains psychic powers where he plans his revenge against the Joestar line, to suck the blood out of all the members in the Joestar family, further fusing the compatibility from his head to his body and increasing control of his newfound powers. Now, Dio is on his list mostly due to the same big, manly, muscly reasons that Kenshiro is, but what sets him just above Kenshiro is just how fucking hardcore this guy is in comparison. I mean, if you just ignore looks, and that in itself is hard to do, he has enough superpowers to make the Justice League look like a bunch of pussies. If we're just talking anime powers, well, he's a vampire, he can body snatch, instant regeneration, brainwashing, mind control, psychic abilities, while also having incredible strength and being able to punch at the speed of light. And if we're including manga powers too, well, freezing abilities, eye jets, and shape-shifting into a bloody velociraptor. Oh, and I'm sure there was another power I forgot to mention. Oh yeah, he can stop time. I mean, Jesus baby fucking Christ, this guy's just so ridiculously overpowered it's not even funny. Or, as Dragon Ball Z likes to put it, he's over 9,000! Sorry. Even when he's just initiating his powers, it is so epic that it's become a catchphrase for anime geeks all round. But then again, how couldn't it? I mean, you could just about put into just about any context and it will instantaneously make it about 100% more epic.
Chief, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the...
And that's just one of his many iconic catchphrases. Like Kenshiro, the noises he makes during a flurry of punches has become its own catchphrase, which is normally accompanied by his famous finishing move of chucking very large vehicles, most notably steamrollers, onto the enemy. And let's not forget, he has the ability to kill puppies while still being awesome, and also his final all-powerful transformation after sucking the blood of a Joestar turns him into
Mega Ultra David Bowie.
Wait, hold on a second, does that count as something cool?
Mega Ultra David Bowie.
Now, some of you may not have even heard of Dio Brando since JoJo's Bizarre Adventure isn't the most popular anime to say the least, but if you've been hanging around the internet for long enough then you've probably seen him referenced and not even realised it, since his epicness secures his place as one of the many internet memes that have come out from his catchphrases. His catchphrase, Zawaldo, is a pretty famous anime meme being referenced in many places such as Team 4 Star's DBZ Abridged and AMV Hell. Heck, AMV Hell 5 is called Dedicated to Dio for fuck's sake, so I don't know how much more of a reference you can get. As for his famous fighting noises, well, the most notable reference can be seen in the American show Heroes, but if you live in Japan, then maybe you've already seen it courtesy of a group of Japanese virgins meeting up together to make what sounds like a stroll through a demented chicken farm. The problem with Dio is that he has such a short run in the anime that you can't call it much of a run at all. With only 3 episodes of screen time under his belt, it felt like he could have offered so much more, but I guess that's the problem with the anime being only a 6 episode OVA, but still. Unfortunately, all his potential is lost as in the end his dominance is short-lived due to our main hero defeating him very cheaply by way of instantaneous shonen action Deus Machina power-up, or as Dragon Ball Z likes to call it, due to his short run in the anime and just for being a bit too bizarre, see what I did there? He slips down the list slightly. Though when it comes to absolute dominance in power, presence and online internet memes, there's little to stand in the way of Dio before the entire world is kneeling at his feet. Number 10.
いいんだ。もう受けねえ。覚悟ありか。上等。
Roanoa Zoro from One Piece.
シスサンサン。アトミックスパート。
Whoa, hold on, did I just put a One Piece character above Kenshiro and Dio Brando? Hell the fuck yeah I did, but for those of you about to leave out of utter disgust for my choices, I do have a reason why he is this high on this list, and it's certainly not to do with some fanboy favoritism or anything.
I like One Piece.
Shh, they can't find out. For every fan of One Piece watching, because I know there are a lot of you out there, you may be wondering why I chose him over such people as the main character who is so retarded that he actually does a 180 and becomes cool, one of my favourite anime villains ever, and a badass grandpa with a family so big that it apparently rivals the number of members on Facebook. Well, in my opinion, Zoro is the closest thing in One Piece to the rule of cool I was looking for. I mean, forget 2 sword style, that's old news. He wields 3 swords with one in his bloody mouth. Zoro, or Zolo if you're an idiot and you're watching the 4Kids bastardized version of One Piece, motherfucker, One Piece.
Here's how the story goes, we find out by the treasure in the grand line, there's no doubt.
One Piece, motherfucker, One Piece is the first shipmate of the Straw Hat Pirates and the second strongest in the crew. He seems to be the exception in the crew since he's the only one who's always able to stay serious and can always keep his cool no matter how stupid everyone gets. And in the serious situations, he's sometimes a more reliable leader than the actual leader himself. He maintains a very cold persona which goes with his massive killing intent, showing no mercy when it comes to a fight. Despite his average size and being a normal human, he has incredible strength and endurance, training using stupidly heavy weights and displaying inhuman feats. Though then again, this is One Piece, motherfucker, One Piece, where there are people who can apparently create tidal waves with a fucking burp. But you just have to admire his will to become stronger and never give up no matter how strong the opponent he's facing. In fact, he relishes the chance to face a stronger opponent every time. His dream is to become the best swordsman in the world, which he got when he and his childhood friend made a promise to blah blah blah, who cares about his past. How the fuck can he fight using his mouth? And moreover, how the fuck can he speak so clearly while holding a shaft of the sword in his mouth? Shaft in his mouth. I mean, seriously, it must take some skill to be able to do that. Let me give it a try. The problem with Zoro is, despite being one of the coolest characters in the series, One Piece isn't the coolest series to begin with. I mean, yes, it has its moments, but come on. When you have character designs that look like this, what the fuck, I don't know what the hell this is, this, and what the fuck, you don't really lend yourself to being the coolest show. For that reason, Zoro gets himself involved in many of the silly slapstick humour that goes on around him like he's constantly part of a fucking Jackass kit or something. And also, he loses more coolness points for having the sense of direction that borders retardedness. Actually, no, that's a bloody lie. When he can't even follow a straight line correctly, it crosses the line of retardedness so far that the line is on the fucking horizon. Now, you would think that some of these things would put him down on the list more, and that would be true if he hadn't displayed one of the coolest and most badass feats done by anyone on the list. In one of their toughest battles in the series thus far, the crew fight a deadly combination of a gigantic zombie the size of a fucking skyscraper, along with one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Having fought for what seems like a Dragon Ball Z fight amount of episodes, getting punched, stamped, trampled, using up all their strength and sustaining enough damage between them to go to hell and back 3 times over, they finally defeat the opponent and come out victorious, though victory is short-lived, as before any of them can recover, another warlord shows up to unleash a powerful attack that finishes the entire crew off. Almost. With all his other crew members passed out from damage and fatigue, Zoro is the only one still conscious, although he hardly has the strength to even move anymore. He uses this chance to beg the warlord for his captain's life in exchange for his own, willing to throw away all his dreams and ambitions for the loyalty to his captain. The warlord agrees to let the crew go on one condition, that Zoro experiences what hell is like before he dies. See, he has the power to reject all the damage and pain that Luffy has gone through in the previous battle. Just go with it. And if Zoro, half dead from the battle before, endures all of Luffy's pain and damage on top of his fatigue already, then the crew are free to go. How much damage has Luffy sustained? Knowing that he will almost certainly die from this ordeal, Zoro agrees without hesitation and enters the bubble of pain to endure hell itself. After waking up, one of the crew members realizes that Zoro is missing and tries to find out what, if anything, remains of his body from that experience. And that is why he's number 10.